technology sa PowerPoint kung projector. So we just have to, so I decided that this lecture will be recorded for everyone to watch and listen and learn, even those who na. Okay? And akin sa may bahala, akin sa may church pag distribute ani ang lecture. Kamu na bahala. Okay? But the topic is or are evidence-based medicine, and it's just an orientation. Are we running? Okay. Lights, camera, action. What po ka amin dahil sa ako ang blocking? Should I stay here or there? No, no. Okay. Kisa may director na to. Alright. So, two topics, and I hope we cannot record until like several, like I would try my best to finish around more or less 5 p.m. Okay, because we will cover two topics, and well, the second topic I won't bore you with the history. I will just have to let you read some of the salient nuances, okay, of the history of public health. Okay, mas maayo man ang kamoy makabasa sa history, okay, kaysa boring kay mga pangalan. But anyway, before anything else, since this is 2 hours, okay, and in the interest of giving you or making you understand a little bit on a deeper sense inferential statistics, okay, I promise to spend a few minutes of our time in the interest of your classmates who will be listening to the video recording, what you need to know more or you need more understanding with regards to inferential statistics. So last katong Monday nga la A and C, we had the time to discuss, but apparently when it was already done and we are about to switch topic, wala na yun, 5 o'clock na. Okay, so what we discussed, there was this guy who asked how about chi-square tests. Okay, unsa kuno kanus aman siya pwede gamiton. Gamiton ba siya sa as a parametric test or a non-parametric test? And by now, I think you all know the definition of parametric and non-parametric. Okay? Yes or no? If no, don't be shy, just do like this. Or if yes, you do like this. Do you know now the definition of parametric and non-parametric? I see this. I did not see this, so we will proceed. Okay? So akong giingon sa iya hybrid good siya na statistical tool. What is important is if you use it, make sure that you use it for the right variables. Okay? When you use chi-square test, you don't use it for quantitative variables. Okay? You use it for qualitative variables. Or in other words, if I may be a little bit deeper in the definition of a qualitative variable, has to be categorical. Diba? Daghan mo itong classification sa qualitative. Diba? Categorical, nominal, ordinal, ano. So, regardless kung ordinal ba, and it's ordinal in order, or nominal without any order, you know, just like the color of your hair, the blood type, and all. So, these are all categorical variables or qualitative variables. You can use chi-square for that matter. Okay. But the thing is, kaingon lang siya parametric o non-parametric. Pwede lang yun either. Because ang nakanindot man doon sa chi-square is hybrid. No? Ang importante lang kamo nga nag-research kay bao mo nga sa nature or the type of variable that you will be analyzing using chi-square. You will be using chi-square used with quantitative variables or the numbers. Okay? Like blood pressure. Okay? Or cholesterol level. Okay? Or enzyme level. Okay? Mga medtech kaya nga mga terms, no? Outcomes. Unless imuha na siyang kaning mga numerical variables, imuha na din mo siya category. No? Sige, example ko no nga, kaning usa ka numeric variable, usa ka qualitative variable in nature, nga pwede nimong himuan nimong analysis using chi-square. Therefore, imuha na siya i-transpose into a category. So the magic there is to know when to transpose a particular quantitative variable to a categorical variable. How do we do that? So we can use, let's say for example, I want to know whether there is a statistical difference between this type of variable between male and female second-year medtech students. Yeah, I'm using a particular numeric variable. But it is more meaningful to analyze if it's in a categorical type. Okay? Sige, tagay ko nung example nga from a quantitative variable, a number, na himuon mo qualitative. Anybody? Common kay siya. From a particular age, himuon mo what's daily range or age group. Pak. Okay. So from a particular age to an age group, you can do that. You can use a chi-square there because each group already represents a certain category. Okay, so if you want to, dili siguro medtech atong gamiton, kaya usa naman ng age group. Siguro population, lain-lain ng age group, di ba? Male and female. From 0 to 5, 6 to 10. Oh. So gamiton na natin mo ang chi-square. Pero kung gusto ninyo nga average age, ang inyong gustong himuan o different average age, wala na yung age group, we need to say the summary na of the ages, okay, using mean, median, or mode. Diba? Kaya quantity naman siya, the average age. So, dili na pwede si chi-square. Kung dili si, kung quantitative, kunya two groups, male and female, I can see, kung saan itong statistical test nga for quantitative variables involving two groups. T-test, slap. Wala yun ako ang mahatag ninyo kaya hindi ko hatag o pizza. At least, nakasabot na mo sa essence, no? Pero kung daghan ang group, mean to say, male, female, o kung sa panaliha, para mga soji-soji, lain naman ng soji, o ng litan. So, unsa naman itong gamiton, numerical, di na test kung dili. Wow. Okay. So, pakuha na mo. Okay, mo ito'y usa ka question. Ang usa sa ka question kung ang mundo man is bahin at ang sampling. Ang iyang pamuntahan na kung ma-affected ba ang statistics, if I can remember right, na naabay influence ang variability. Okay, kasi ang variability sa mga characteristics sa variables, kung there is this particular sample size. Ingon ko, dako jud kaayo og influence ang sample size sa variability. Okay, meaning to say, and the randomization. Okay, meaning to say, kung dili randomize ang pag-choose nimo sa samples from a population, dili randomize. Okay, so kung dili randomize, unsa na itong term? If it's not randomized, it's purposive. Okay? So kung dili siya randomized, purposive siya, okay? You did not give all the sampling units equal chance to be chosen, okay? Which is actually the meaning of randomization. You just chose purposively a particular sector of the population. Okay, pataday?
Yes.
Okay. Yan, battery na na.
Ay, dili rin ako makita magod ang among backprint to. Hindi may ganahan makita sa backprint.
Hello! Mahal ko ato. Ako ato. Ma-depress na yung kung ikaw na yung anti-depressant. Ay, depress niya. Mga mednik, dili ma-depress, ha? Sabi na ka ng mga estudyante, spellers nga mednik, wag yun mo depress ninyo. Ang ma-depress sa siguro ninyo ang weight. Ay, na-hurt. Okay, asa na ito? Nawakan ko. So, kato, purposive. No, panalitan, kanila sila, ang ako kay purposive, ano man, gituyo na ako, by purpose, kay doon naman. So, wala na ako taga-8 chance. So, in other words, nag-sample pa ko, pero nag-inferential statistics ko, but I use the non-parametric because one of the requirements of choosing a parametric and a non-parametric is whether the samples were chosen randomly. So if it's a random sampling, then you use the parametric. But if it's a non-random, the purposive, then you use the non-parametric. But the weight and the meaning of the interpretation of results entirely different. Meaning to say, stronger ang evidence kung parametric because it's random, but weaker ang evidence kung purposive and tested using non-parametric. Paggamit ang tipon. But kung ibangga-bangga ang inyong mga research sa contest, mas makadaog yun si random. Ba? So, kani purposive. So, kamo lang, ang inyong halang estimate, kung sa inyong variable nga ako ang measure, and that's the estimate, dili ko with all confidence makasulti nga paliha mo tanan. Di ba? Kamu ko no. Ngayon mo, ang kanidiin ko common ang average weight ay sa block G sa weight sa block G, average weight, body weight is 50 kilograms. Oo. Ano man? Mga babae. Niya, gaan-gaan. Nagtanaw to rin. Diba? Okay pala, dili jud ko ang reliable nga estimate. See, so, talking about, going back to variability, mas taas o variability compare sa population kung purposive as opposed to random people like that. And of course, when you talk about variability, you also consider the natural variability. Meaning to say, kani, but ang weight sa mga lalaki, naturally sa weight sa babae. Because heavier man ang bone mass sa lalaki. So naadyo na mga nga variability nga kung dili nimo tagaan ang equal chance of the units to be chosen randomly. So kanila sila dili gyud confident mo as the researcher, investigator to really say for a fact na mao ni. So that's, and then going back to the sample size, the bigger the sample size, the lesser the variability if compared to the total population. Kay mas daghan naman ang napili ninyo nga samples from the population. Nagkuha mo? So, kung mas dagko ang sample size, mas duol ang inyong na-estimate nga parameter kung natagaan ninyo o chance silang tanan or kamong tanan ma-measure. Nagkuha mo? Sa SF. Because ang ideal yun is the whole population ang kuhaan ng measure. Dili na siya inferential statistics, di ba? It's actually total enumeration. Kamu naman tanan. So, let's throw out of the window si chi-square. Kaya di total naman. Ang inferential statistics is inference. Is educated guess. You just want to measure estimates from the total population, which for all purposes, reason and purposes, you are not able to capture. Because kamuna, gamay na inyong kwarta mag-research, you don't have enough time. So that's the reason why you just settle for a sample of the population. And then you estimate using inferential statistics. You now get the... Okay, now it's your chance to ask me other questions and inferential statistics. We still have time. Okay, before we proceed to that. Anybody? In the interest of all your classmates who are listening or who will be watching the video later, baka pali-palihan mo o situation, pali-palihan mo mga conundrums, and we can clear them out here and now. Aside from all those two, you want to clear out, mga cobwebs liha, inyong lahuna about inferential statistics. Mubali na sa kudiling. Nag-blocking na ta. O okay na nga dili ko mag-mic? Sige tayo, kamo, sama. Wag na mo yung mga, bisan, for clarificatory purposes lang. Do you understand inferential statistics? Okay, ako, it took me 5 years to really understand. Yeah, and this is the right time for you to ask somebody like me and to clarify things on inferential statistics. Because saan naman ko? Sama. Kanang pala, klaro lang ba? Maklaro pala makuha ninyo. Sige, sama. Sana, kahit na kayo, kay gusto ipangutana. Ay, siya lang good. Sige tayo, sama tayo.
For you, Doc, how can you describe inferential statistics in a simple way?
Okay.
From what you understand.
Alright. So, ako lang balik ang question para maklaro sa... Ay, kauwawin. Ano magiging? So, how can we define inferential statistics in a simple way? Okay. It's just basically knowing the estimates of a certain population characteristic using a sample. Estimate. Inferential statistics. So, by the word itself, di ba, ang definition nato sa inference is an educated guess. So, inferential pertaining to inferences. Okay, statistics because you will be using statistical tools in order for you to know whether there is meaningful mathematical reason for being, okay, regarding those estimates of a population. Because statistics basically is a science of comparing things, no? Using of course, numbers. Okay? Importante kaya ang statistics, guys, sa medicine. So, that goes without saying na importante kayo ang statistics sa medical technology. Nga bitang mag-medtech na. So, karon i-introduce na tamo sa essence sa statistics. Using, first, a good grasp of the principles of biostat. Okay? And you will now, with this knowledge, you will now know how to perform when you become medical technologists later in the laboratory, whatever specialization you are to your liking. You may want to concentrate on clinical chemistry. You may want to concentrate on microbiology, parasitology. You may want to concentrate on histopath. All fields of medical technology will need your knowledge in statistics. Why? Because as medical science, laboratory scientists, you need to make sure that your data, okay, is quality data. That's why we have quality assurance. And that involves statistics. Okay? So, inferential statistics is an accurate measure, and it's a science that deals with accurate measurements of a population using a sample. Otherwise, it's no longer an inferential statistic. Like I said, if you measure everyone in a population, then that's already a total enumeration, we call it. Okay, so pwede rin dyan mo gamitan ang imong inferential statistical tools, but it's no longer an inference because we got kuha naman yung mga. Okay, sige, nice. So sa pa? Uy, yay! Sige.
No,
Oh. May pahat.
Mag-clarify lang po doon.
May pahat. Kadyot naman diri tanan. Ako sa i-download. Okay, unsa lang, sige.
And then for the class, we're going back to the
Oh,
actually a full-time over.
pero nakuha man kanimo. Ano sa? Sige naman. So,
Power of statistical test. So,
power of a statistical
like,
test.
kasi mga specific definitions.
Okay.
Kana
Kana kung mga gustong may bawaan nga makuha ng mga question. Kana ba kung gusto makuha ng question from you? Unsa ba? Sige, kumpletuhan ang pangutanan.
Kasi meaning
Sa power.
tanan.
Okay, naabayag dito sa ako ang mga handouts, no? Pero ako ibalik na ato. Ato lang ninyo nabasa. Power of a statistics. It's its ability, it's there. Power of a statistical test is ability to capture or measure, whatever you want to use to capture, measure, detect the true value in the population. So you want to know the power of that statistical test. So when you analyze data in research, okay? So na-adjud kay, di ba? Na-adjud kay research question. Di ba? Yan, na-adjud kay objectives. So it starts with a general objective and then specific objectives, and then from these specific objectives, you will now keep, no? Ipon mo tanan each one by one sa specific objective kung saan mo pag-measure sila. So these objectives are the variables that you will be collecting, correct? And each variable or each objective should have its particular statistical test. Okay, especially if it's already an objective na anas ubos-ubos, you want to know if there is an association between. May nga you want to know the correlation of this to this. Okay, then you will be using a particular statistical test. Okay, so example, if you want to know if there is a statistical difference between this variable, between male and female, between groups, okay, so katotong gimension ganiha nga chi-square or t-test, okay, so each should have a power. Okay, so meaning to say, the power of the chi-square test to detect, using the sample, the true value in the population. Because remember, you're just using a sample. Tama? But you want to know, okay, you want to hit that power, that mark, para in confidence, makasulti ka nga, using a chi-square test, I would say, the age group, okay, there is a statistically significant difference between male and female as far as, say for example, chi-square itong istoryahan na, their response, okay, more female students responded yes to this particular question that I don't know compared to male. And it's statistically significant using chi-square type, yes or no naman, di ba? With a p-value of less than 0.005. Let's say for example, ato na naman, with a p-value of 0.002. Okay, and this p002 significant or dili? Ngano man nakaingon mo? Because it's less than 0.05, which is the alpha, right? The significance level that you declared in your proposals, correct? Okay. Pagkapinan pa na nato with a power of 80%. Okay, relax. Anong 80% man? Because in medical researches, guys, para sa yunas ato ang tanan, okay, most of our statistical tests should have a power of 80%, the least. Meaning to say, kinahanglan nga kaning mga estimates nga ato ang i-measure using these variables, kaning mga estimates nga ato ang i-measure using statistical tests, appropriate statistical tests, should have a power of 80% or more in order to detect the true measure of the population. How will you achieve that? 80% power. If, rhetoric lang to dahil ka siya. Pwede na pong makatubag ka. So how do you achieve a power of 80%? You can achieve only if you have large sample size. Okay? Because a large sample size means a more precise estimate. Diba? A more precise estimate is a more accurate estimate as well. Okay? But sometimes an accurate estimate is not necessarily, a precise estimate is not necessarily an accurate estimate. Why? So, nakuha mo ng target. Okay, ang accurate is the bullseye. Okay. So, kung sikog target, unya, pili ko ka bullseye, so unsa may ako ang describe me? Precise and accurate. Okay. Sikog target, pero ang point nga pili igon is dili. So, unsa man ko? Precise but not accurate. Okay. Sikog target, pero ako ang mga darts pa, ana-ana. Not precise, not accurate. Nagkulog-kulog ako ang kamot. Kung nga nung kahapon, okay, baw. extend na ng imagination. Nag-inom kong dagang kape. Magbuot mo. Nagpulog-pulog ko. Okay. So, ingana siya, guys. So, the power of the statistic depends on the sample size. The larger sample size, the more powerful. Meaning to say, the more reliable, gamit lang ko na ito ng power, the more reliable will be your statistical test to measure the real variable. The real measure or the real value, the value of the variable in the population. Did I?
Pwede mo.
Sure! Nakabatay tayo, guys. Sige, pwede na to. The time is 3:46 according to my smartwatch. Hindi na lang kumusulti sa branding. Siya, oh. So, 3:46, guys. Do you want us to do like this until 4? Or dili na ta? Sige. Sige. Oh, questioning. Mas ganahan ko questioning. Kaya dali naman. Sige.
Na-list natin ako pag after and I know.
Uy, mugawas ba yung uban?
Really? Question lang. The larger sample size, the narrower the confidence interval,
Yeah.
the more accurate. Okay, power na.
The more precise.
So,
Dali, ani. Alright. Okay, bao, in the first is, are we confident in knowing the confidence interval? Diba? Confidence. Okay, bao na sa confidence interval? More or less? Diba? Yes or no? More or less? So. Okay, let me clarify. Diba ang when you compute, okay, when you do your analysis, compute of the data, okay, statistical analysis, the software almost always, and if it's a comparison between groups, not even that, but like in any form of statistical analysis, the software will always give you a particular number and a range. Diba? Okay. That particular number of a measure or an estimate is a point estimate, single point. Ang iyahang palis is what we call a range estimate. And a confidence interval is a form of a range estimate. Let's say, for example, you are trying to determine the association of depression or anxiety score, okay, and the general average of a particular student. Okay, so, familiar mo sa anxiety score? Di ba? Okay, ibutang ka na lang ang anxiety score is taas. Okay, meaning to say, taas ang iyang anxiety score, ang iyang average, general average na is bubo. So, meaning to say, kung ang anxious ang tao, mas bumubo ang iyang general average, GPA, which is logical. Di ba? Okay, believe na sa Jupuni mo. Di ba? It follows a natural rhythm, di ba? Kung anxious ka, whatever, or depressed ka, kung anong depression score, bubuo mo ang general average. It follows because depressed, ito kaganahan mo study. Another depressed na ganahan mo study, nako, namo anak. Kaya mo lang kuha na siya, outlier. So, depressed galing ang tao, mubogit siya o kanang zest, energy to study. So, mumubogit yung score. Now, ang inyong research is such na i-compare ninyo ang average ang anxiety score sa mga babae o sa lalaki. Okay. Uy, nakita man ninyo nga na statistical difference. Okay. Ang average kanang anxiety score sa lalaki o sa babae. Meaning to say, mas taas, don't bash me ha, for the sake of discussion lang. Okay, mas taas ang depression score sa mga lalaki. Butang na lang. Lalaki, butang, taas siya. Pero, mubo ang sa babae. Alright. So, statistics. It so happen nga, ang statistics, ning generate siya o let's say, for example, odds ratio. Are you familiar with odds ratio? Yes, you should. So, there's an odds ratio of 2. Okay. And then, na ay 95% confidence interval between 1 to 4. Okay. So, meaning to say, unsa mong pag-interpret sa odds ratio? Meaning to say, of 2. Guys or male students are twice more likely to be depressed compared to female, with a 95 confidence interval between 1 to 4. Okay, 2 lies between 1 and 4, correct? Alright. 1 and 4, just by looking at it, eyeballing, is it narrow or wide? 1 to 4. Nya na diha si 2. Nya 95% confidence interval is 1 to 2. Kuwang pa itong interpretation, guys. Kuwang pa ang result. Kahit si statistical software, magpagawas pa yun ng p-value. Nya p-value ani nga estimate is 0.035. The p-value of this estimate is 0.035. 0.035, is it higher or lower than 0.05? Lower. Therefore, this estimate is statistically significant. Meaning to say, it is statistically significant that guys are twice more likely, odds ratio, twice more likely to be depressed than females. You should be confident because the p-value is less than 0.05. And the confidence interval is narrow. Meaning to say, your estimate as far as the depression score is accurate and precise compared to if you had the chance to get everyone and measure their depression score. Okay, so the narrower the confidence interval, the more precise your estimate is. And the accuracy will now point out to the p-value. Okay? So, if the p-value is less than your level, significance level, okay, there's a big chance that your estimate is near or is closer to the true value in the population. Okay? What? Do you want to know the meaning of a 95% confidence interval? Yes. Okay. Because in medical research, okay, daghan na siya, pili lang mo. Gumahan ba mo 90% confident ba mo? 95% confident ba mo? Or 99% confident ba mo? Wala yung 100%. Kung 100%, awat lang. Perfect na mo. Pero, gitagaan lang na itong chance ang nature. Okay? You know, like I said, we have our natural variabilities. So we cannot be all the same. We were made to be different, but in those diversity, there is unity. Let's close our eyes. Diba? Amidst the diversity, there should be unity. So again, going back, so kasagaran sa mga estimates nato statistically, Ganahan ta sa 95% confidence interval. Okay, kung if you really think outside the box, that is actually your margin of error. Shock sila. 100 minus 95. That's your margin of error. 5. Meaning to say, the other way of saying that my level of significance at the proposal level is 5 or 0.05. If you transpose that into percentage, that's 5%. And therefore, 100 minus 5 is 100 minus 5. That's your confidence. So, margin of error is similar or closely related to or mostly your level of significance. Okay? And then 95% confidence intervals mean to say you are 95% confident that the true estimate of the population is between 1 and 4. Correct? With a point estimate with an odds ratio of 2. Ang kanang odds ratio, kani siya, mong gawas ra ni kung nag-inferential statistics mo. Dili na ninyo gamiton kung inyo lang ikuha naman. Ibaw na sila. So, gamitan na lang, yun sa na ko pag-explain sa 95% if it's 90, if it's 99. 99, murag gusto dyan ka nga, murag kuan kay ka pa nga, sure dyan kay ka, at itong estimate ni mo, close na yun kayo sa population, kang confidence sa yun kay pa nga, imuhang gitagaan imong kaugalingon as researcher, 1% margin of error. Ulit ka, buhiro kay ka. Pero wag yan may tabo, guys. Okay? Isa pa. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Kai. Sige. Ikaw, gusto ka mo puli na po? Sige, isa pa. Oh, napay 2 minutes. Si Bonferroni. Si Bonferroni is a Bonferroni test is a test that you use after you analyze the data, the quantitative data. Let's say, for example, if it's a t-test or ANOVA, okay. Bonferroni is a statistical test that you use to identify whether there are the interactions between variables. Wala na po guys. Sorry kayo ha. Let me ask my assistants to complete my definition. Okay? And then okay. Okay. According to my assistants, Bonferroni correction is a statistical method used to control the rate of type 1 errors when performing multiple hypothesis tests simultaneously. I will explain that. It works by lowering the significance level, which is the alpha, for each individual test. To calculate the new stricter alpha, you divide the original alpha. Okay, ay lang kabalaan. So, in simple terms, okay, Bonferroni correction or the Bonferroni test will be used. Let's say, for example, if you are testing several groups, no, and you want to know, and it's basically a test that most statisticians or statistical software use with quantitative variables. Let's say, for example, ANOVA, ano. So, iyan ang i-correct to minimize the effect of type 1 error or your false positive. Okay? So, Bonferroni is very important if you are analyzing several groups. Okay? So, di ba? And using quantitative variable. Remember, magmuna sa atas, dilita sa t-test. T-test, only two groups. Quantitative variable. Imuhang i-analyze between these two groups. Daghan na game groups, let's say for example, nag-test mo o leaf extract. Okay, kunyang inyong groups kay kaning nga milligrams or naka-identify na kunuhay mo sa active component sa leaf extract. Kung sa itong phytochemical. Kunya inyong gihimuan o concentrated form. Wala na mo, hindi na mo, nettek pharmacist na mo anak. Pero ang inyong mga pain nun, ilagga. Yeah. So, naging mo na mag-concentrated form atong phytochemical ever. So, inyong gikuan kung unsa may mas epektibo nga concentration aning phytochemical para mudaghan ang buhok sa inyong ilaga ang giupawan. Ana, for example, so kanina concentration taas-taas, kanina concentrate taas-taas, kanina concentrate isog na jud. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to load ka groups, or we call them arts. Okay? And this concentration. And you measure the hair growth in millimeters. Oh. So those are all quantitative variables. Pak. ANOVA. Diba? So kung mag-ANOVA mo, magawas niyo as Benferroni. Nga si Benferroni mo, ingon niyo with a value na na-interaction during the pita. Na-stronger interaction because in ANOVA, you can only be given the value, okay, between groups, and you measure the interaction. Okay, meaning to say, when we say interaction, guys, between groups, asa aning grupo ha, itong upat ka concentration, ang mas naay difference sa hair group. And if it's ANOVA, more than two groups, then we call that interaction. So extend your mind. So it may not necessarily be leaf extract. It could be, what is closest to the heart of medical technologies. Kasi tawag ni mga tayong mga quorum sensing. Diba? Kaya ano mga quorum? Pamoy microphone, no? Okay. Kaya mga kagaw, guys, sa ilang culture, sa petri dish, di ba? Mag-orient ako ninyo, di ba? Kagaw, kita may magpatubuan na sa petri dish. Ganan, na. Ako, paborito kayo na mag-streaking na yun, 4 quadrant streaking, pag-iwi-iwi na yun. Mag-grow na yung mga kagaw niya, like color, beautiful kayo. Makapatay na eh. So, kana sila, nanasay characteristic sa mga colonies. Kanya, ang karakteristik mga colonies, kaning mga kagaw, right? Yung mga kagaw. Naman, mag-communicate na sila between each other. Yeah, they communicate, and the way of communication, one of the ways of them communicating with each other is, just like here, we are a quorum. We are a quorum. You are in a quorum. Because, waman na absent ninyo. Tama? Wa. Ay na, may katawa. Tawa agad. Basta na ganyan, ha? Ay, wala. So, alam sa this, gikan ko kung second year mentek, long time ago. Basta na kay, ngayon na mong professor, why absent na attendance. Sige, granting kompleto mo, you're in a quorum. And then magkasinabot din mo, magtabi-tabi din mo, wala mga bacteria. So, in anak, mag-communicate ang bacteria sa colony. For the colony to thrive, for the colonies to thrive, there should be quorum. And if you cut that means of communication of a colony or colonies, if you cut that, then you kill them. Quorum sensing. And there are particular molecules that can kill or that can stop the quorum. And phytochemicals and so on. Okay? So, kana siya ang ato ang one. Asan ba ang discussion? What are we discussing again? Ako man to mentoron ni. So, katong mga interaction. Okay? So, okay na ta? Okay, wag na naman tayo magpa-clear out sa ato ang mga cobweb sa differential statistics unless you really again read the handouts, or you want to substantiate the handouts and read Jekyll's. You have Jekyll's, right? So okay na ta. So let's now proceed to another topic. Okay, and our topic for this afternoon is very equally important, no? In medicine. Okay. As laboratory scientist, nagidutan ninyong term guys, no? Laboratory scientist. Niya to sa mga mintik. Mintik. Unsa man ka mintik? Okay. Karon sa man ka lab scientist. Gilo. Tiko tala ng tae. There's a test in the laboratory. I don't know if it's still being done right now, but there's a test in the lab that measures the fat content of if a patient is having malabsorption syndrome and it has to do something with pancreatic functions, and the best way to measure the pathology, one of the ways that we used to do in order to know that there is a malabsorption syndrome is to measure the fat contents of the feces. And you will have that test in the lab, in microscopy. I don't know, microscopy ba na alun hapon? We used to have microscopy as a subject. And that's where all the body fluids are analyzed. Kung saan naman alun? Body fluids. Clean mic lang eh. Clinical microscopy. I-shorten lang ninyo, clean mic. Clean mic hapon doon. Okay. So, pero sa laboratory na mismo, na-adyo na is a 24-hour collection of poop. Then, the medtech will make kutaw and get sample. And then, you measure the fat content of the feces. And there's a normal value. So, lab scientist. And you measure all kinds of body fluids, even, those. But that's our only contribution to disease treatment. No? Our knowledge of measuring all that there is to be measured in the body, so including excreta. Okay, so let's go back. And by the way, all these tests that we have known and you will be knowing as you progress in your knowledge and in the course is using evidence-based. Okay? Wala na yung mga test. Kaya mga test nga ay mga names sa mga author ng mga test. Maybe later on you will be inventing another form of test to detect whatever and you will call it your family name. Okay? So, yung undergo sa silang research. Okay, why are we now discussing this? Because when you are done second year and you will be starting your third year, hopefully you will be passing each and every one of you. You will now be doing your own research, yes, and you will be referencing articles, journal articles. You cite them in your proposal. And gone are those days nga mag-cite na lang mo bisag dili nindot ang evidence ana nga journal basta na lang kay naa mo ika-cite para to make your proposal thick. But it does not have anything at all. It's thick, but it does not have any meat. Okay? So lahi sa nang igo-igo lang yun dapat. Igo-igo lang sa number of pages kunya nindot sa sulod. Okay, so evidence-based medicine. And this is just an orientation, guys, because really and truly, evidence-based medicine is a course in the university, the School of Medicine. If you close your eyes and you can imagine yourself enrolling in the School of Medicine in the University of Cebu, few years from now, kung naapa ko dito, then I will be seeing you as my students in medicine, and I will be teaching sa third year this for the entire first semester. But here, for just a few minutes. Because it's just an orientation. So, I made it a point na ako na lang i-integrate history of public health. Gamay. Sa history of public health, I'll just leave it up to you to substantiate what we have here. It's in Jekyll's, it's in Gordy's, and I even will have to share to you my PDF of the lecture in So basically, this is just some of the example scenarios in medicine. But this is just how we do things in medicine. So if you can imagine yourself way forward as a doctor now, okay, as an intern in medicine, and you encounter these same scenarios, then you need to know, okay, you need to know where you get your evidence to support your decisions for your patients. So, going back now, as medical technologists, you don't have this scenario. Okay? What you do, or what you have right now, is your research proposals in the future. But since you will be doing your own research, okay, that's your scenario. This is a clinical scenario. But what you will be creating for your research is your research question. Okay? So, from that research question, you will now look into publications that are related to your research question. And if you already have those articles, okay, you just don't copy and paste statements from these articles without even knowing whether these articles are accurate or not. Okay, so that's our practice. You know, guys, like several days ago, last week yata, I had the chance to talk to Dean himself, one-on-one. We had a long conversation in her office, and she was asking me if, you know, Doc, how can we elevate research amongst our students? Like, kasi ingon man siya nga, Doc, daghan na kaayo o medical technology school, then daghan na mag-athlete, daghan na tayo, you know, and being alumni and alumnus and alumni of this institution, both of us, but different generations. Okay? Of course, when you graduate in Veles, whatever course you graduated from, this will be your alma mater. Right? And once you have an alma mater, it's home. And diba? Once you have a home, you have to have love for your home. Correct? Kaya di man mo ning graduate, di man mo nahimong tao, di man mo nahimong medtech, nakapasar mo sa board, magpasalamat mo sa alma mater. And that's how I am right now. No? I don't consider the check or whatever. I love what I do and I want to share it with you. I love what I do and I want to share it with you. Alright, so, dili kay na to in detail, tanan-tanan ko. Kaning evidence-based, there is those domains, right? Diagnosis, treatment or therapy, prognosis, heart, and theology. Now, siguro sa inyong kaso, sa mga medtechs nga mag-research, medical medtech students nga mag-research, asa dili tan-aw ninyo? Asa dili man? Pwede na nato ipana dito, dili mo wa? Hinay-gayot lang. Ayan. Okay, sa upat na domains guys, okay, asa dapit diha ang pwede nato ma-discuss as medtechs? Mga? Etiology? Ayaw tanan, dili pa mo prognosis, pa mo doktor. Isa mong treatment. Oh, pwede, pero treatment mo ilang ka. So, pero, isa man. So therefore, that leaves you with diagnosis and harm. No? Well, treatment, if you are into looking into the effect of whatever molecule that you gathered from the nature, and you want to test its effectiveness among rats or laboratory animals, what have you, or even the bacteria in a petri dish, the colonies, right? So it all depends. Now, pero sa ato dili, siguro diagnosis akong gitan-aw, medyo dili ta sa diagnosis kay we are into laboratory science. We are the background scientists or the background guys for doctors. No? Kawas siguro kung ang doctor medtech po na ko, di ba? Okay lang yun, makabasa pa ko, makahimo pa ko urinalysis. Di ba? Kay medtech mo ko. Pero ang ubang doctors, dili man medtech, di man laboratory scientist. So, kansi sila. Okay. So, kita ang mga medtechs, dili kita, support kita, ancillary ta sa mga doctors. Without medical technology, wala. Kuwangan ang weight sa pag-diagnose sa doctor just by using history and physical examination. Kuwang at this day and age. Alright. So at least naibaw mo nga importante kayo nga maibaw ng taanin. Especially sa reference nato sa mga articles for our proposal. And we usually, so kung nakita tayong article guys, you know, when we have an article, particular article, publication that we want to reference, we do not reference it right away. Okay, we read it first and we examine, okay, the evidence that the researchers, okay, published in the article. Okay, and that's basically what we will be teaching you in the course of PDM. How to critically appraise an article. Okay, kay dili tanang articles guys na na-publish sa journal accurate. Nung duminaan. So, it does not mean nga kung ikaw, kapalingunan, ano? Ikaw, pala diligence mo. Okay? Not necessarily, kung naana mo yung publication, manghambog na mo. Kaya, na ay mga journals na check sa inyong mga emails, labi na magbutang-butang na mo ka ng graduate mo kung sa-unsa, manghatag din sila mga email ka mga spam unsa. We are a full-fledged group, journal, we have an ongoing research. Then, itawag na nato sila o predatory journals. Nga, ang timingan sad mo nga, naan na mo'y nahuman nga nga research, nga nangita mo og somebody for it to be published, kunya, pamisan man sa kong kwarta. Anda. Pero, mga isa silang kwarta sa inyo mo. Oh, that's what we call predatory journals. First is they will ask you like a $50 fee for your publication of your article that to get published. Unya, di tanaw yung pati man, i-value na ko more than 0.00, more than 0.05 balintanan. So, wala dili accurate and precise imo kay di ba dapat points less than alpha? Unya inyo haladay no significance at all kay palipalihan ang mga estimates between one group and one group. So, p-value is more than 0.05. And you somehow what you want to see is really a statistical difference. Ako ni publish. Nga, yung sood man si Bill. Sige, publish. Hala, i-publish nila inyong site, inyong journal. Di, ala, another publication! Yay! Di tayo so, wala nga. Ang summary ani tanan is dili tanang publication nga na-publish sa online or even printed are accurate. That's why evidence-based. And there is a standard process doing it, no? So you ask first, or you formulate your clinical question, which is in the form of PICO, and I will just introduce to you what PICO is. And then you acquire the journal article, then you critically appraise the value or the evidence of the article, and then you apply it to whatever you want to apply to your research. And that's the reason, then that's the time that you will cite it, okay, as a reference material. Okay, so who started it all? Actually, this guy started it all. David Sachet, who is a Canadian epidemiologist. Okay? Kaya mga epidemiologist, paupaw-upaw ito. Naroon yung gano'n. Mahulog ilang book sa sigig ibudol. Diba? Kung saan mang gininato, ay, alam na ito buhok. Alright, so, nga naman, asa ba nagsugod ang evidence-based medicine, guys? Kanang, ay, ang ginagawa ko pa rin. Ipatuloy mo din din, right? Kapag kayo, hindi na ako. Okay. Sige. So, okay. Wala kong integrate na lang nako ang history of public health kay diya makita magsugod ani tanan. Kay tungod ani kay history of public health nga wala kay evidence, therefore evidence-based. So, kani siya basically how we in the medical field came to be. Okay, so back in the day, during that time, okay, wala ni ang ilang experience. Madoktor na ka. Authority, apprenticeship. So, kung ikaw, feeling mo, like si Hippocrates ka, okay, authority na ka, or na-enlighten lang ka gamay, feeling mo na-enlighten na ka, nakibaw na din ka sa mga environment, agent, o host, mga variable, mga air, mga soil, bright na rin ka. Then you become the authority, and then you accept other individuals to be apprentice, and then you share your experience all together. And that's it. Okay? And then there's the period of enlightenment. It took several decades, it took several years, hundreds of years, no? Naalagita diha ang medicine involved, di ba? Long time ago in Bethlehem, no? Not even in Bethlehem, but long time ago, even before Bethlehem, we have oracles. Diba? Wabayan ka na college kung wata ka pasar of Greek mythology, diba? High school. Who likes Greek mythology? I do. Diba? Kinsa may i-konsulta ni kinsa tong demigod ikonsulta niya ning tawhana, pangutanan niya kung makadaog ba siya or mapindi siya. Kinsa to? Perseus? What does Percy Jackson create? Diba? Ang iyahang giadto is the Oracle of Delphi. So, mga na, kung oracle kasi atong panahon na, so mura kag medicine man. And then you have the priestess and the priest in the Egyptian kanang empire, yato sa mga panahon sa Pharaoh. So they depend on the priest and the priestess. So they have their own gods, si Cyrus, si Xerxes, Horus, Horus, tulad na sa kapoke. And then we have Zeus and other gods in Greek mythology, right? So, and we have all these characters that they thought were the ones healing them, right? But moving forward, in this era, for some reason, people were already asking, no, they were skeptic about the authorities, like, okay, sakto bagod nga kanang kuwaan kung daghan kay dugo, no, phlebotomy, which is actually your skill later on as a medical technologist. You have to know how to extract blood, just like a vampire, no? Phlebotomy, and long time, like several, like hundreds of years ago, until the early 19th century, phlebotomy was considered as the panacea. Bisag unsang sakit, kuhaan kag dugo. Sa unsang sakit, kuhaan kag dugo. E para nila, there's something in the blood that causes the disease. Okay, so that's the reason why kuhaan kag dugo. Okay? And it was not until the early 19th century that it was proven wrong. Okay? But phlebotomy still remains to be an intervention even today because there are diseases that really needs phlebotomy because their pathology is overproduction of red blood cells. We call it I forgot. Oh my God, nag-brain fart ko, guys. There's that, there's a, oh my God. Can you help me? Polycythemia vera. Polycythemia vera. Right? So, polycythemia vera can be not treated, but you can actually reduce the effects of the signs and symptoms of polycythemia if you phlebotomize. Okay? But you cannot transfuse the blood of the polycythemic patient. Okay. Period of transition, concept of end result utilization. RCT are randomized controlled trials. Okay? So the term is research design. Randomized controlled trials. And then, modern period, we have computers, database, and now, moving forward, we have artificial intelligence. Okay? So, the more that we have to have that mindset, no? The evidence-based mindset. So, long time ago, like I said, bloodletting was the be-all and all. Okay? And just sharing to you some of the prominent stalwarts, legends of public health. Okay, Pierre Louis, okay, inventor of the numeric method and the method of observation. Okay, and then this is just to show you that the overall result using 77 patients, if the patient was bled early or bled late, and those are the number of deaths, things like that. So the difference is 19, minus 19, mean to say, mas daghan ang nangamatay kung nag-phlebotomize early than i-phlebotomize sa late phase nilang disease. So this is just goes to prove that there is no evidence in bloodletting at all. And this guy, who is a Johns Hopkins graduate, a doctor, okay, still, and it was, look at the year, 1919, like it was just a century ago, okay, na nagsigipan niya po sila bloodletting, okay, but today it's no longer that way, okay, and these are just the prominent individuals, okay, through time, okay, just to prove to us that evidence in medicine, okay, is paramount. Okay, evidence in medicine is paramount. Mean to say, you need to have evidence. That you need to have evidence that a particular phenomenon is occurring, whether that phenomenon, okay, is a change for the better or for the worse. That's how we are. That's physical reality. We need to have evidence because we use our senses, right? We use our 5 senses. We use our sense of sight, sense of hearing, sense of smelling, sense of touch, okay? So if you become doctors, you need all those senses. Medical technologies, all the more. You need to use your eyes to see microscopes. You need to use your eyes to see organisms. You need to use your nose in order to smell the culture of Staphylococcus. I'm not kidding. There's a particular scent of Staphylococcus culture. Just by the wafting, just by the, opening the petri dish after like several hours of incubation of wound discharge. Staphylococcus din. Kung pila na mong kawig sa microscope, microbiology ba, yeah, balik-balik ka ba na mo lang, ang medical technologies, the more you do the test, the more you're good at it. Like it's a plan. No? So, like, Staphylococcus ni, Pseudomonas ni. Even the wound, kung doktor niya kanang nakay pasyente nga naay kanang gangrene, and mo emanate mo yung baho yun sa gangrene, syempre kung doktor ka, ay ipakita nga lugaan mo ka. Kaya mautaran kay pasyente. So, doktor bitaw ka, dito ka lugaan mo. Okay? So, maraming Pseudomonas, green ang nanak. Pabera na lang nato na siya para sa ano ba? So that's how you use your clinical eye. So, evidence. Because without evidence, guys, kita sa medicine, mga albularyo na kita. Kwakiri natin. Kwakiri na ng napita, guys. Okay? Because we need to have evidence in order for us to be scientific. Okay? So, mo ni sila. Okay? Ang dagan sa panahon. Alright. So, why we practice EBM? We share decision-making with the patients, provide better diagnostic reasoning, the understanding benefits versus harm. And that's where you come in, laboratory scientists. You provide doctors the evidence. With the skills that you know in performing the test, okay, with the statistical tools that you know on assuring accurate quality data, that's quality assurance, okay, running a laboratory with accurate and precise measures, that's who you are. Okay? Allow you to practice more safely. Okay, so we, the doctors, base our decision from your results. Give us wrong results, we kill patients. How's that? You like that? Of course not. Diba? So, quid pro quo lang na guys. Okay? Quid pro quo lang na. Priso me, priso sa mo. Diba? Ano lang. Baus-baus lang ang damit. Alright. So, this is how, the Venn diagram of EVM. As the clinical judgment, you, the set of scientific evidence, we share to the patients the results, and then we decide. Okay? So these are the domains. So we forego with the prognosis, very clinical na siya ang prognosis. So kung inyong research is about the diagnosis, mean to say the laboratory procedures, how accurate is this particular method, the accuracy of, so that's the part of the diagnosis. Or the association of a particular risk factor in the outcome. So that's harm and etiology. Or the characteristics of patients diagnosed in the laboratory with Pseudomonas culture, so etiology. You know etiology, right? The meaning of the word etiology, the cause. Okay, so those are the 4 steps. Okay, and this is how you formulate your research question. So in the clinics, where we are, kami mga doctors, katong scenario na ipakita, kami to. But then again, when you are already learning EVM, this is actually how you phrase your research question in your proposal. So, PICO. So, among, laboratory mice, that's your population, how effective is the leaf extract, compared to those who were not given the leaf extract, or compared to the placebo group, in reducing the sugar level. Output. Outcome, di ba? So, ingana ang inyong pag-create of research question. So, in your proposals next year, pati next year po inyong manamoy lal na 1 cent? No? Ako bitong giingnan si Dean, iko din. Ato dyan usbon ang curriculum sa research. Atong ibalhin, siya sige daw ako nang himuan ang pagi. Kung ano man din, importante man, ang nahitabulon sa second years na ay lal nga 1 cent, nga walay research anything at all. Right? Remember? Am I right? Because after this semester, lipay na mo, wala rin, bahala mo ng chi-square. Bahala na. Naman mo, niya pagka-third year, nasa proposal na sa... O, di ba? So, at least, kung i-second cell na to ang biostatistics and research for second years, at least, nagbakasyon sila kadali, pero while siguro kung kinsay gusto na-engganyo mo pag sa ako ang lecture, isang summer na, naging-luta itong lecture ni Lobno, sige, mag-proposal ta. Diba? At least, diba? I mean, na continuation of knowledge, application. Kaysa, first semester, theory, tests, grades. Second sem, I don't care. And then pagka third year, here we go again. Nakalimot na dahil sa theory. So at least, siguro I don't know kung saan niya na sa second sem na biostatistics. Okay, what time is it? 4:13. Anyway, so, nagsige pa ba na? Okay. Sige, so foreground. So these are just the several types of questions that you consider in developing or when you are into evidence-based medicine. So you have your foreground and your background questions. Okay? So siguro sa atong adili sa medical technologies, laboratory scientists, alita pa doon sa background question. Katong mga basic science questions. Okay? So, you may want to consider this when you are trying to develop your proposals. Okay? So if you want to know the prevalence of a particular outcome, you want to know the prevalence. Okay? And there is a particular research design in knowing prevalence. You could either do a cross-sectional study or a prospective cohort study design. Is the early detection worthwhile? Screening of a particular disease entity, and I really encourage you to do a screening research. No, you might want to use a particular laboratory methodology for screening an early screening of a particular pathology. So that's screening. And there's a particular research design there as well. You can either use a cross-sectional study design or a cohort, prospective cohort. Okay? So what will happen if you do nothing? That's prognosis. Mean to say, pasyente na nino, pasyente like na-stroke, heart attack, nabuhi, okay? And then, buhi siya, o siya namatay, so munta na siya, doktor. Dok, unsa may chance nga heart attack pa ko in 6 months time? So that's prognosis. Okay? Or, Dok, na-stroke na siya, okay? Pero, na siya aphasia, kadang anak. What are the chances na mag-re-stroke ko? So that's prognosis. And you don't really want it. And then, does this type of intervention help? So this is where you come in sa basic sciences using, bacteria, using laboratory animals. These are laboratory research. And then what are the harms of an intervention? What are the harms? So you might want to do this, and this one, this treatment, you have a particular research design. Okay, to do this, that's the experimental studies. Treatment. Randomized controlled trial, RCTs. And then for what are the harms of an intervention? What are the harms? So you are into the harm domain. Okay, of EBN. So if you want to measure harm, okay, you may want to do case control studies. Okay, you want to do retrospective or prospective cohort study design. Longitudinal follow-up. Okay, a particular group. Could be a particular group of animal rats. Okay, that you will follow up. And then you measure regularly who developed this. Okay? Between this group of lab animals and then this group. Or if it's human beings, okay? So that's where all those global studies of new molecules are being conducted right now. Example, there are several molecules now that are being studied against a particular type of cancer. Okay? And these molecules are still unbranded. Meaning to say, mga experimental bagyo sila na ang mga pangalan nila is mga alphanumeric pa. Yung mga AZ151. Mga weird kayo ng mga sounding. The effect of this molecule in reducing the genetic, okay, the tyrosine kinase inhibitor, effect or characteristic of this molecule compared to placebo. You will appreciate all these biomarkers in one of your subjects, which is cellular. Molecular biology. Okay, you will be introduced to biomarkers. Okay, and these biomarkers are already recognized as either molecules that can either inhibit or propagate or as an adjunct to the cause of disease, pathology. Okay? And then, diyan na ang focus sa research. Kung butangan ni siya nga receptor, tyrosine kinase inhibitor receptor, butangan og bagong kanang agonist, so it's basically medical science, medtech. Okay? Karon siguro we're lang pa mo kay second year pa. Pero may bawo lang mo. Ang sa naman ninyong mga subjects mo, nga murag more or less murag naa na tapis medtech. Cytogenetics. Oh, I love that. So, kibaw na gid mo sa mga processes sa epigenetics. Oh, cytogenetic. Wala mo na introduce of epigenetics? Or did anybody mention or talk about epigenetics in cytogenetics? Or in genetics? Or have you even heard the term epigenetics? Boy, very important. Because epigenetics is relatively new field in medicine, okay, that it really explains how we as a population get sick. Okay? And that explains why most of us, okay, is what we are right now. Okay, let me explain. Ngano ingani man ko, tambong man ko. Okay, tambong pa na kong papa. Tambong pa sa na kong mama. Tambong po ko. Diba? Diabetic pa na kong papa. Diabetic po ko. Oh. Nasa mong dugo. May ngana ba? And long time ago, like several decades ago, it was thought to be heredofamilial, meaning to say, dugo. But surprisingly, it's not in the blood. Oh, well, yeah, it's in the blood because it's in the cells, but basically, it's environmental influence. It's environmental influence. Because they also found out that if you remove a particular person or population or a selected individual out of that environment, they change. They change. Physically, mentally, like change yun. Like, gikuha siya sa ilahang pamilya nga puro tampo, or puro diabetic, o puro high blood, gibalin siya sa lang environment nga puro healthy, siya. Oh. So, asa man niya ang dugo? It has to be the environment. And it's a function of epigenetics. And as you will know later on, there are three major epigenetic processes that changes the expression of your genes. Not the genes at the genetic basis, the ATCG, but the chromatin. The expression of the gene. Okay, so continue. These are the study designs you want to do, considering all those domains. Alright? So this is, ako lang ikuan sa uban ninyo guys. I will just breeze through the slides. But I want you to remember this when you choose articles online. Okay? So if you want to choose articles online, referable or in reference to your researches, your proposal, alin ka siguro dapit guys? Dili mo dapita. Okay? Because these have better, and these are the designs, based on research designs. This is the hierarchy of evidence based on research design. So if you are looking for articles that you will reference, okay, to support your research proposals or your research, choose these designs. Okay? Kung naasalit, ako, kung nanay meta-analysis, this is the evidence of evidence. Nana mo siya sinatasan. So, this has the strongest evidence scientifically, meta-analysis. Because, are you familiar with meta-analysis? Not yet? So, if I'm a researcher And I don't want to conduct this, but there are already several researchers with this design, or this design, or this design, on a particular topic or a subject of interest, but it does not have the evidences are different. The evidences are different. The odds ratios, all those that we talk about, the point estimate and the range estimate are not similar. And here you are, you want to conduct a meta-analysis. You gather all these researches, similar researches, you research them, okay, their evidence, and then you come up with a pooled estimate. And that is meta-analysis. Okay, so from a hodgepodge of evidences, okay, articles, you read them in detail, and there's a software that you can use in order to input all the odds ratios, all the samples of all the related articles that you've gathered, and with one click, the software will give you a full estimate. Whether it's not good or good, it's up to the software. So that's meta-analysis. And that's the highest form of evidence. So ako sa inyo, pangita sa mo, kung naanay na meta-analyze, ganito ang gamita na reference. Okay? And then, down the line. Ayaw mo well, okay na ni, pero ayaw lang yung mga expert opinion, pero mga newspaper, mga anecdotal, ayaw lang. Okay? This is just to point out to you, there are level of evidences. This is just important if you are into medicine and you want to know whether you are giving a drug to a patient and you want to know how safe the drug is. Like, natay tambal, ihatag, kunya babae, kunya mabdus, kunya wala kibaw, o di ka kibaw sa level of evidence ang tambal na imuhang ihatag, kung safe ba sa baby or sa fetus. So, those are the levels of evidence. Alright? Alright. So these are clinical questions and suggested research study designs. Very good. I want you to look into this slide because these are the domains, okay? And these are the research designs. So you can be guided sa inyong proposal, okay? And then, asa mo mangita sa mga articles. Okay, natin yun, na-siya guideline. Here ka, Cochrane. Kaning Cochrane, guys, kung namoy kwarta, okay lang. Kaya articles ani 5 years old. Mga articles ani scientifically proved, peer-reviewed evidence, Cochrane, nindot, peer-reviewed, $50. For sale. Pero kung gusto mo og libre kay wala kamukha ra, libre, ano mo sa mga PubMed, no? Headline. Amo lang kung kung sa'yo tawag ani, nag-invest ba si Bedless o katong Ovid? Kaya mga search engines for a fee, for a subscription rate? I don't know if you have that. But if not, then you can settle for the free full text. No? But then again, you are limited to, kay kasagalan sa mga bagong nga mga evidence, yan. O diha mo kita si predatory journal. Ilahamang ibaligya ang inyong research, sila yung kita. So, kamo, kaya ba mo dapat kung saan ninyo pag-appraise kung ang article is dili ba accurate or accurate. Okay, so these are just, I know in detail how you use the 4 A's. So you ask first, ask na to, no? Katong looking at the Pico question, and then you acquire, and then you appraise. So you look first, you read the abstract of the article. If the abstract contains all the necessary elements of the manuscript, because an abstract, although it's limited to, I think, maximum of 300 letters or words, it has a synopsis of the introduction, the methodology, the results, the conclusion. So if an article does not contain an abstract, don't waste your time. Most of the time, the evidence is not good. Or the article where it came from is a predatory article or journal. Okay? So you appraise, and when you appraise, you look into the results of, you look at the methodology of the research. So you read into the kaninyot man gud aning evidence EBM, guys. You don't have to read the article from the very first letter to the last. Pwede lang din mo ambakan, no? Di na ka mo basa pa sa tanan yun. So let's say for example, kung natin article, and you know how to do EBM, first is to look into the abstract, and if you think that the abstract suits your design, then you can read further. You first look into the research question, and then the methodology, and then the results. Okay, usually dito magdugay sa results kay inyo bang tan-aw ng ilang mga odds ratio, tan-aw nimo ang ilang mga, like for example sa diagnostics, di ba tan-aw ninyo ang sensitivity, specificity, ang ilang mga value sa positive predictive value. So, kana siya. Then, if you're happy, okay, if you feel, meaning to say, if you feel that the article is accurate enough, okay, it suits the principles of EBM, okay, for you it's accurate and precise, then go ahead and use it as a reference citation. Okay? So, just basically an orientation of EBM. Okay? So, these are just extra slides that you don't really have to know because it's for medical students. But my point is, for giving you an orientation of EBM is that mindset that you now use EBM, the process, at least no, you know now na before you cite an article, copy and paste the sentences. And by the way, copying and pasting is a form of plagiarism. Okay? It's not recommended. It's still recommended that you somehow paraphrase. You might want to use an AI paraphrasing. It's up to you. Not use their words because again, it's plagiarism. Okay? It won't be a plagiarism if you give full acknowledgement, right? But it's entirely different if everything in your proposal are all copied and pasted. Mailan man na mo, kung mag-copy and paste na mo, the whole page, i-copy and paste niya. Ano man, kaning sentence, walay flow. Di ba? Makabantay mo mismo. Kaning sentence, yan mo, lahi naman ang thought, aning sentence. Siyempre ko, lahi naman sa yan. Balik-balik. Alam ba? Copy and paste. So, mailan naman. So, labi na ka ng seasoned researchers na ang mabasa, may bawaan dyan na mo kung copied and pasted ang mga statements. Okay? So, I think I've done my part. I will give this to you on a PDF. Okay? But again, for the purpose of our knowledge base, our evaluative process, I want you to look again, read into your PDFs and substantiate that using levels. Katulad the diagnostic accuracy tests, like knowing how to interpret sensitivity, specificity, positive predictive value, negative predictive value, okay, because that's in essence medical technology. Okay? So, studies on accuracy. Nanaala na to. And ako, masulti na lang mo daan, mong gawas na sa ito ang exam. Tagaan na mo pointer. Okay, that accuracy parameters mong gawas na. Ha? Pero, siguro, ewan ko mga 5 points lang ang simple recall. Okay, and the rest is actually application. Right? So we call it higher order thinking skills. Dili last. Kaya ang last, simple recall, memorize na to talaga. Ngano nag-detect mo? Right, magkakong memorization. So ay alam taan, nakalita lang ta sa HOTS. Like, kung right mag-memorization, okay, perfect siguro, mataas mong score, pero pag human sa exam, kalimot. Ano mag yun ang memorization, guys? Pero if it's higher order thinking skill, use your cerebrum in trying to analyze, evaluate the choices, and that's higher order. And the more that you will remember the concepts. Okay? Mag-doktor mata mo. Mag-doktor lang doon. Nanong mag-medtech man mo? Mag-medtech lang doon mo. Hoy, ay kung ginang nag-medtech mo kay gusto mong mag-farmer. Naman classmate na mo, uy, asan naman dito si Kuan? Bright na ba kayo ito? Uy, nanay poultry sa bantayan. Kunya, right is medtech. Number, tap. Kunya pag human, nag-poultry. O dato lagi, pero sayang na kayo,